Come on into the building, family, and as you come in, do me that favor and hit that subscribe button for me.
Real truth and power. Health. Wealth. Knowledge of self. Uplifting the community. Let's talk about it.
Peace and blessings, family. Man, somebody told me I need to just say something on this. A college professor says he uses heroin regularly and it makes him a better person. We're going to get into it right after this.
You are now tuned in to Real Truth and Power, the show that uplifts the community with health, wealth, and knowledge of self. Here's your host, Everett Winchester.
Peace and blessings, family. Welcome to Real Truth and Power. Please hit that subscribe button and hit that like and share. And also comment. I'd love to hear your comments about this. A college professor says he uses heroin, of all drugs, heroin regularly, like every night pretty much, or when he gets home from work. And he says it makes him a better person. So I was thinking, I had to research this professor. He's a very established professor. He's a professor at Columbia University. His name is Carl Hart. So Columbia University has some of the top professors in the world. Let's talk about that first of all. So this brother is well established. And I was like, a heroin addict. Well, we know a lot of people that use drugs, so I'm not going to hold that against him. He might be a functional addict. But for him to say heroin makes him a better person, it kind of bothered me. One of the things is when you use a drug like heroin, it's addictive, meaning heroin is maybe not as addictive as people think, but you get sick if you don't take it. To me, that's a drug. If you can't function after taking the drug and your body gets sick, like alcohol, a lot of people that drink a lot, and they start drinking and then they stop drinking, they get real sick. Heroin makes you real sick. And the professor admitted that. He said, sometimes when I don't take heroin, or when I didn't take heroin for a long time, I got real sick. So that made me think, like, why would you say that makes you a better person? And the brother started mentioning things about he balances his work life with heroin. I believe he says he uses on a regular basis. It makes him better when he gets home at night. He likes to unwind with a couple of lines of heroin. So I guess he takes it in a powder substance. He doesn't shoot it in his veins. But how does that make you a better person? Just because you relax at night, you couldn't use marijuana or take a drink, which is also, people would say alcohol is a drug because if you can get addicted to it. But what made him say heroin? So I started researching this brother, and I came up with some important things. The brother is a powerful speaker. He did a survey at Columbia, I believe, as you can see over here, where he did a survey, experiment. And every day he offered people crack or $5. And I think it looks like it might have been a maximum of 10 days. And it was pretty much split. He said, some days they would come in and take the drugs, and some day they would come and take the money. And that made me think about addiction, because we all know people that are on drugs. We work with people that are on drugs, and the professor says that a lot. He is correct. We shouldn't be punishing people for using drugs, especially if it's recreational use. You should penalize them for breaking the law, and breaking the law could be using drugs. But I think they're looking at the whole thing wrong. The professor says, hey, I pay my taxes. I use heroin. I go to school. I get back to my community. I'm a positive citizen in the community. I like to use heroin. But does that make him a better person? Does that make him a better person? And also, are you being irresponsible saying it makes you a better person? Think about it. This is a college professor, and he's telling all those kids at Columbia, hey, it's okay to use heroin, take a couple of lines. But everybody, and this is very important when it comes to substance abuse, mental addiction to drugs, we have to realize everybody's body handles drugs differently. That's why you have junkies and you also have what I would call functional addicts. This professor could just be a functional addict. Maybe he's not addicted to the drug as other people would be. Maybe he's mentally tougher to use that drug and be able to cope. But a lot of people can't. A lot of people are really messed up. If you think a lot of those people that are strung out on heroin are weak-minded, I was asked, they may be, because heroin is a tough drug. Cocaine is a tough drug. Any drug, alcohol, anything you use that can make you weak, can make you sick if you stop using it is not good. I've never heard anybody say they got sick not taking weed. I have heard people say they've been sick taking alcohol. So the question I want, and you guys please comment in the comment section that if you get this video late, I want to know, is the professor being irresponsible? Is he a functional addict, meaning he can go to work, do whatever he has to do, and he can wait to get high? Or is he delusional? Maybe he does have some personal problems that affects him. Now, in the link in the bio, in the description link, I put a video of the professor speaking, and I got to give it to this brother. He's really did a phenomenal speech on not convicting and being what's the word I want to say, on not targeting drug abusers. And he really targeted that. In the video, he says his son has been arrested for using drugs. He didn't specify what drugs. I believe this brother has about 3 kids and things of that nature. So my thing is he a functional addict? Is he a junkie? Is he delusional? I don't know. I've never used heroin. God bless. I do know a lot of people that have used it. And they've mentioned the worst part of heroin is getting off the drug. It makes you so sick. In fact, they say that it probably wasn't the drug that made them addictive. Like people say, man, I got to keep getting high off crack. I need that buzz. I need to get beamed up. I need that first hit feeling over and over again. What they usually say is they feel nice, they feel a little high, but they get sick after they use it. So they got to continually keep using that drug. So the college professor, and again, his name is Carl Hart. Hope I said that right, Carl Hart. And he's going on and he's saying that, it's okay. It makes him a better person. How does it make you a better person if you get sick by not using that drug? And I also started thinking, he says he goes home. I can imagine him giving me a 50 or a D on a project. I'm going to be like, brother, was you high when you graded this? These are the answers you said. So I do know that there are people that we work with that can do their job, that are functional addicts. So I'm never going to criticize a person for using drugs. I'm not one to judge. I'm not judging the brother on that. I'm just judging the brother on saying heroin makes him a better person when he openly admits that, he had withdrawal, that it just took over his whole body. It was awful. So why would you go back to using it? Just because you have to unwind at work. He says taking a few lines after a hard day of work, just relaxes him. And he takes heroin, it motivates him. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. You guys feel free to put your comments in. Do you think it's irresponsible of this professor? Would you allow this brother to teach your child? So I have to think of that. We all work with people that use drugs, and a lot of times it's not the work that them coming to work and doing their job, is them getting to work, them looking for that high, calling out a lot of times. So if this professor, like he says, if he's going to work every day, if he's being what I would say, if he's being a good citizen, like he says, if he's paying his taxes, if he's not doing anything as far as robbing somebody or hurting somebody, I'm not going to judge him. Man, I guess do you keep educating and do your thing. My question is it making you a better person? You couldn't smoke a blunt and relax, and you have to use heroin. And the fact that your son got in trouble with drugs, is that a result of you? So, man, please definitely check out the link in the description. It's the professor. He's giving a speech. And he did a phenomenal job of talking about how drug abusers shouldn't be targeted with sentences and we should give them help. This speech was done about maybe 6 years ago. Now he's openly coming out recently and saying, hey, I use heroin, not once in a while, regularly. He says, I use heroin regularly and it makes me a better person. He's a brother. So I respect him for fighting to help drug addicts not get locked up and things of that nature. And I like the fact that he's admitting that we shouldn't stereotype people that, they use drugs, but they act functional. But there is a responsibility to your community, and that's what we talk about on Real Truth and Power, to clean up your community, to uplift your community. And drugs is a major thing in our community. And I'm not talking about weed. I'm not talking about alcohol for that matter. I'm talking about the war on drugs, or people fighting to sell the drugs in the community, the addiction, and what that addiction makes you do. So I just asked the professor, are you able to function? Are you a functioning addict? Are you able to function? Because there's a lot of people that use heroin and they cannot function. They're really hurting themselves. They're hurting their families. They can't stop taking it. You've seen it. I'm from Baltimore. We've all seen the hard pain and the addiction that drugs can inflict on a community. So, yes, I don't blame anybody for using drugs. I don't blame anybody for being a drug addict or a junkie. I want to help those people. But I don't want to say it makes them a better person using heroin. I think that was irresponsible. What do you guys think? Man, leave your comments. Please share this, man. Let's get this information out to the people. And thank you for tuning in. Everett Winchester, Real Truth and Power. Peace and blessings. Hotep.
Real truth and power. Health.
Thank you for tuning in to the Real Truth and Power podcast, where we provide health,
Community.
wealth,
Let's talk about
and knowledge of self. Please hit that share button and subscribe. And be aware, we have a black game show coming up this week. So please hit that subscribe button and that alert button. One love.